Hello everybody, Merry Christmas. We're in the joyful period of the Christmas run-up and we're back here with another Leeds United victory. Yes, aside from the Rotherham blemish, Leeds United I believe would have gone 8 wins on the bounce if that hadn't have happened. That discrepancy, but it doesn't matter because Leeds United were able to ignite the fan base again with another victory yesterday over Blackburn Rovers. Yes, everybody, we're back here with 3 things. If you missed out on all the content yesterday, we had Patreon videos, we had watch-along, we had watch-along clips, we had an instant match reaction, and we've got more coming up tomorrow. We've got a podcast that's going to be coming out on the Patreon account, which you guys are going to really, really enjoy. Check it out. It's going to be across the pond with me and Gabe. But we're here to talk about 3 things that we learned yesterday. A lot we learned yesterday again. And I feel this, that Leeds are evolving every single game. And it means like 1 week I can talk about Archie. 1 week I can talk about Dan James. Then I can talk about Joe Rodon and Pascal Stroud. And that's exactly where I'm going to start yesterday. Because I think, I think that any other team going to Blackburn yesterday, with the amount of possession they had, because I thought they were quite cute in possession. They were quite good at recycling the ball. They were good on the ball. They were causing Leeds a few problems, not in terms of shots on goal and really curating chances, but keeping the ball, manipulating space, getting players in positions which Leeds United weren't comfortable with. The 2 constants yesterday were Joe Rodon and Pascal Stroud. Now, as a combination, as a back 2, that was the best performance they've had in a Leeds United shirt together. They were absolutely exemplary. They were absolutely on the money. They were disciplined. They were delightful. And I can't think of another word to really emphasise my alliteration. But overall, they were very, very, very good yesterday. I'm really impressed. And interpreting balls coming in, anticipating, but also being proactive, playing the ball out from the back, getting Leeds up the pitch, looking for options. And a lot of the time during yesterday's game, it wasn't their fault. They had the ball. They were looking for options, but we didn't see the silky smooth operator. We didn't see Glenn Kamara. We didn't see Ethan Ampadu showing for it at points. You know, you saw Crysencio Somerville nullified for large portions of that game yesterday, credit to Blackburn. So there weren't really those options. At any time there were those options, you were almost giving the attackers hospital balls because they were getting pressed on so high by the opposition team, Blackburn Rovers. Now, I felt that the one person who could have manipulated that a little bit was Joel Perreault, the person who could have come deep a little bit, dragged out their central defensive midfielder and curated space for our other offensive players. That didn't happen. This isn't the point of which I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Pascal and Joe not having those options, but being able to keep the ball, not losing it, no mistakes. And when you've got the ball for that period of time to not make any mistakes is very, very, very impressive. And the proactiveness of Pascal Stroud is something that I absolutely adore. I think he's so underrated by our fan base, so underrated by our fan base. And the general sphere, the general public, championship sphere. I think he's getting better and better and better. And this is what happens when you partner him with an actual defender who can play football and can defend without any mistakes. So, yeah, point number 1 we learned is yesterday, for me, as a combo, those 2, the best game they've had, which was fantastic to see. Let's hope they build on that because they've been exemplary together, using that word again. Number 2, in the thumbnail, it is DJ. It's Dan James again. Now, do I like him as a footballer? Is he my favourite footballer? Absolutely not. Is he the footballer who I'd have picked at the start of the season to be starting for Leeds week in, week out, month in, month out? No, he is not. Why? Because I don't think he's got the capabilities to really compete at the top level. But by God, is that 7 goals in 10 games for this boy? Unbelievable rate. And he's the informed player at the moment alongside Crysencio Somerville in the Championship. Yes, can you believe I'm saying that? It's absolutely insanity. It's absolute insanity, I should say. You know, early December in this Championship calendar, I did not expect this from Dan James. I did not expect even what I saw yesterday, you know, using the defender as a marker, drilling the ball through his legs and scoring a fantastic goal, and one of his best ones, a one which definitely would have stood in the Premier League. Sometimes I might be a little bit picky, a little bit pedantic when it comes to Dan James, and I might look at some of his finishes and think, yeah, in the Premier League, the keeper does better there, the defender does better there. It's because this Championship's so bad that DJ is able to get, you know, the benefits that he's getting at this level. That is extremely harsh. What I will say with Dan James now is I'm learning on the go that he is proving me wrong. And he's putting really nice finishes away. And he's really delivering. And the thing with Dan James is he's developing his game as well. This thing up here, which I don't think he's had a lot in his career is developing, it's evolving, and credit to Daniel Farke for that. And whether or not that's inspired by confidence, self-esteem, which enables him to maybe just look at his positioning a little bit more, that is something that has developed. It's his positional awareness, his spatial awareness. And the reason I'm saying that, and let me just evidence that, is because even yesterday, as Blackburn are pressing as a unit, there's one man who's consistently ready and consistently positionally aware for a counter-attack, and that's DJ. All the time, he's on that flank, and everybody knows his artillery. His number one thing that he's going to gun the opposition down with, it's that pace. It's that agility over a short space and even a long space. He attacks the space consistently. You'll barely see him check back, and if he does check back, he's already attacked the space and he's manipulating more space. That is a massive, massive positive of his game. And when teams are pressing Leeds as a unit, that is in the background all the time. That Joe Perot can get the ball, Kamara can get the ball, Ampadu can get the ball out wide. Dan James is always there, always. You might get Somerville checking back into a defensive position. You might get Somerville coming in centrally. Where's Dan James? He's always without fail on that right-hand side, ready for a counter-attack. And yeah, he's at the minute, he's undroppable. And I did think a little bit of credit to William Yonto, I thought came on and had a really good cameo again. Should have put Leeds 2-0 up at the time, hit the bar, and it's great to have these options. Jaden Anthony also coming off the bench. Another thing that we learned, and something that I do want to touch on a little bit, is a little bit of the criticism that I saw online for Jed Spence, and maybe some fans taking the words of Daniel Farke to a bit of a silly, almost unrealistic, and not really taking Daniel Farke's words, in my opinion, in the right context. Daniel Farke was saying that sometimes, essentially, he needs to recover at a better rate. Sometimes, positionally, he needs to get better. Now, this was his first real stint back. He was playing on the left-hand side. Let me just reiterate this now once again. Berardi, Alioski, Stuart Dallas, Sam Byram, Jed Spence. 5, and there'll be more. There'll be more that you can think of in the comment section below. Oh yeah, Pascal Stroud. That's 6 players who aren't notoriously left backs, who've been asked in the past 4 years to play at left back. Once again, we got it again. Once again, we saw the check backs from Jed Spence because he's not naturally left-footed, and once again, we saw him naturally being a little less comfortable on that left-hand side than he would be on the right. Unbelievable, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? That, if you put me left wing and I'm a right footer, I'd probably struggle to go down the byline and cross it with my left foot because my left foot isn't as good as my right foot. Sometimes I feel football fans really struggle to compute this, but they do, believe it or not, everybody. People think that Sam Byram would be better at left back than he would be at right back. Don't know why, but they do. They think now Sam Byram is a left back. He isn't a left back. Jed Spence isn't a left back. Alioski wasn't a left back. Berardi wasn't a left back. Strauch isn't a left back. It's crazy. But it's got to this stage now where I got online last night. I was having a little scroll through LUFC Twitter, and what did I see? I saw Leeds fans criticising Pascal Strauch, calling him, Jed Spence, calling him lazy. Lazy. Now, for me, what I saw when Jed Spence came on was, excuse me, was more than what Byron was doing going forward, because the shackles were let off Somerville, and we saw him develop a lot more in the game because Jed was doing something really smart and taking away the space. He was coming inside, he was underlapping, he was overlapping, which was making the fullback go with Jed Spence, and then Criticise Somerville was able to drop deep, get hold of the ball, or advance and get the ball as well. That's intelligent. That's what a top player does. Now, I'm not saying he had his best game. Of course I'm not. But what I saw was athleticism. What I saw was a real ability to get up and down the line. And what I saw after the game was him stood on the pitch talking to Daniel Farke about his game, and then coming over to the Leeds fans, clapping the Leeds fans, going in the changing room, going down the tunnel into the changing room, really happy, really elated. And then I get online and see Leeds fans slagging him off, saying he was lazy, saying he was this, that, and the other. And this wasn't just one, it was a lot of Leeds fans. And I honestly do not know what these people are watching. I haven't got a clue what these people are watching. Because once again, it feels like if that's Byram, nobody's battering an eyelid because he's a Leeds lad, because it's Sam Byram. If we're looking at game states, yeah, Byram's done whatever he has done over the past however many months, which has been excellent. But if we're actually looking at games yesterday, Byram had a really poor game, but nobody calls it out because it's Super Sam and he's a Leeds lad and he came through the academy. And it really frustrated me yesterday because it's Spence's first game back. He'll have gone online afterwards, guaranteed, because he's a young lad, 23 years of age, and when he's not done anything wrong at all, sometimes he relies on his recovery speed a little bit, but he's a different player to Sam Byram. He's a different player. He'll give you more going forward, as we've seen when he got promoted with Nottingham Forest. And once again, he's on the wrong side. And this is what I've said about Sam Byram. When he's on the wrong side, how's he supposed to give everything for Leeds United when he can't get to the peak of his powers? But I just thought that was absolute insanity from some Leeds fans. I thought Jed was decent when he came on yesterday, 20-minute spell, and he was involved. And I thought he opened up the space a lot for Crysencio Somerville. So what we learned is Jed's back, and even on the left-hand side, he can have a big influence. But I don't want him to be on there. I'd rather have Archie on the left and Jed on the right. And I saw this from Ethan, and I think this is bang on online, that the angles that a central midfielder can create from an unnatural position is much more advantageous to what a fullback can do, and I completely agree with that. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? Did you learn anything different? Please let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you check out the Patreon. Make sure you check out all the other videos of yesterday, and make sure you check out all the content that's going to be coming tomorrow. I'll see you in a bit.